All right, let's go for another example. Same concept. We're trying to graph these lines which are in standard form. So I'm going to have x plus y equals to -1. Well, first step, as always, as we stated before, and let me scroll over back to the right so we can see that step. It says we're going to add or subtract to get rid of x. Well, in this case, since this is a positive x, I'm definitely going to subtract. This cancels. And then I'm going to bring down my y. Then on this side, I recognize that, guess what? They're not like terms. This one has an x and this one doesn't. If they both had the same x, they would be like terms, but they don't. So I'm going to bring them down separately. I bring down the minus x as is, and then since this one has a minus in front of it, I'm going to bring it down as -1. Note the difference. Over here was a positive 6, so we brought it down as +6. Over here was -1, so we bring it down as -1. Now, normally step 2 would say multiply or divide to get 1y, but I noticed that I already have 1y. If you do the first step and you get 1y by itself, there's no more to do in terms of putting the slope in the set form. Now you just have to identify your slope and your y-intercept. First, over here, we know that this is my what? My y-intercept. Awesome. I'm going to go plot that. I go to my y-axis, I look for -1, and I make my first point. Then my slope here. It's always the number next to x, but there seems to be no number there. When there is no number, then my slope, or my m, is equal to -1. And what's the denominator for any whole number? 1, right? So it's going to be -1 over 1. So what does this mean? It means I'm going to go down 1 and then to the right 1. Notice whether the slope is positive or negative, I'm still going to the right 1. So let's follow this pattern. Down 1 to the right 1. Down 1 to the right 1. Down 1 to the right 1. Each time I'm placing my dot. Down 1 to the right 1. After a while, I see the pattern and I try to follow it. I always try to follow the pattern both ways to keep my line accurate. This way, in the case where I didn't have a ruler, which of course you probably have on your Regents or in these standardized tests, you'd still be able to graph your line accurately and make sure your points are intersecting wherever they need to intersect, in particular when you get to systems of equations. So I'm going to draw my line straight through. And then bang, that's all done. This is the line y equals to -x minus 1. See you in the next video for another example.